So you want to be a millionaire. In this Legacy Story podcast, Flashback, we are checking out episode 23. In the episode, we talk about the mindset of a millionaire versus the mindset of the professional victim. Stats and facts from surveys of millionaires, how you can become a millionaire, and the habits of millionaires. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Let's get into it.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the podcast you've all been waiting for, Legacy Story with Adam Solomini.
Thank you. We are going to jump into this episode real quick because I have a lot to say. And I want to see what you think. You can email me about this episode or any other episode, or maybe you have some ideas for future episodes. Maybe you have a legacy story of yourself or a family member that you'd like to share. You can email me at legacystorypodcast@infinancer.com. Just in case you don't know, my name is Adam Solomini, and this is my podcast, Legacy Story. Ultimately, this podcast is meant to rekindle your own legacy story memories and ignite a desire to create more. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the legacy story of your average millionaire. First, I'll start out by saying that I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial investment advice. You have to do your own due diligence and research to figure out what is best for you. The information I am giving you is based on personal experience or research that I have done or others have done. Connect with a trusted financial advisor if you are seeking financial investment advice. So we're going to be talking about your average millionaire. That's right, I said average millionaire. Why do I say that? Because most millionaires are your average Joes and Julies. We'll get into the facts about that in a bit, but first, let's talk a little bit about mindset. Too many times I hear people with this type of thinking, this mindset, that millionaires are silver spoon-fed, mommy and daddy trust fund having, nothing but inherited money 1%ers that don't care about anybody but themselves. The facts and stats tell a story that is just the opposite. But what this mindset really tells you is that you don't believe there is a path to this type of a legacy, when there is. What this mindset tells you is that it's easier to play the victim card and blame your financial health on someone or something else rather than take a deep look into why you aren't there yourself. Don't feel bad if this describes you, because the victim mentality permeates. Somehow, some way, we got to a point where it's easier to point the finger instead of looking at yourself, your own personal choices, your own personal responsibilities, your own personal outlook on life. And let's just say it for what it is. It's really easy just to blame somebody else, play the victim card. If you are listening, you need to remove yourself as far away as possible from that mindset, because that is not going to get you anywhere. You also need to get out of the mindset that, hardly anybody is a millionaire. Nobody can really get a millionaire unless they get it from their mommy and daddy, or if they cheat somehow, or if they're a sports star. And that's wrong. First, if you happen to be young and listening to this, I'll give you an example. If you are 18 years old and you start putting $100 a month, 1 or 2 mowed lawns a week, or 1 or 2 babysitting or dog walks a week, so $100 a month, and invest that into a mutual fund that outperforms the S&P, this is easy to find, usually, and with a long track record, I might add, that usually means around 10 to 12% in returns on your investment. So $100 a month, you do that for 50 years. You will have, are you ready for this? $1,459,603.75. And I did that on the 10% return rate. Just $100 a month starting at 18. You know how much stupid stuff I spent money on at the age of 18 and 19, 20, 21, 22. I'll stop there. I bet you it was more than $100 a month. So, you know what's funny when I bring this up? I hear the craziest retorts to that information. Like, well, you'll be too old to enjoy the money. To that, I have a few different statements. One, is this about you, or is it about you creating a legacy for future generations? Two, retirement isn't about age. It's about a number, and that number is what will your lifestyle require at retirement? $70,000 a year? $80, $90, $100,000 a year? Without touching your initial investment and living off of the earnings, that would mean you would need $700,000, $800,000, $900,000, or $1 million, respectively. You see where I'm going with this? Let's say you wanted to retire early and live off of $90,000 a year. You think you could live off of $90,000 a year? Is that something that you could probably do? Well, if you started at 18 and invest $350 into a mutual fund every month until you're 50, you've reached that target. You could retire at 50, live off of that 10% earning from your investments, and you could live off $90,000 a year. Now, we all know that not everyone is 18 and everyone has different situations, but unless you are a few years away from retirement, you can still make a big play on your future. What if you're 43, for instance, with no investments, no money in any type of 401k, starting from scratch at 43? First, I would suggest you pay off all your debt except for your mortgage by 45 years old. Then blast your investments the same way, but at $1,500 a month. And guess what? You're a millionaire by 65. If you have a house, you're a millionaire way before that. When there is a will and an income, there is a way. And yes, I can hear it now because I've heard it so many times. $1,500 a month? That's impossible. No, it's not impossible to invest $1,500 a month if you don't have any debts. A lot of you have a $600, $700, $800 car payment. Imagine if you didn't have that. You're halfway there with just that car payment going away. Your $300 credit card payments, your $300 student loan payments, your personal loan payments, that couch that you're sitting on that you're paying $75 a month for. Get rid of the debt. You'll find that you have plenty of money to invest. Now, let's get into some of these facts and stats from the largest study of millionaires, one that is the largest of its kind in over 25 years and was performed by Ramsey Solutions. I also have some more interesting facts from a few other studies as well. So, if you want to be a millionaire, pay attention to this. You will get some insight as to how millionaires made it and maintained it. First, let's talk about the Credit Suisse, I think it's Suisse, latest global wealth report, which shows that there are 46.8 million millionaires worldwide. Of those, 40% or 18.6 million individuals are in the United States of America. That equates to about 7.6% of the U.S. adult population, or 14% of U.S. households. The next closest country is China, I believe, at 10% of millionaires worldwide. Then Japan, then United Kingdom, then Germany, and France, which rounds out the top 6. There was a Spectrem study of millionaires, and here are some of the behaviors that you might be interested in. 84% of millionaires have a college degree. 1 in 3 funded their own college education without debt. Fidelity's Millionaire Outlook survey showed 86% of millionaires said they made their own wealth and did not inherit it. Out of all the millionaires, on average, it took about 32 years to hit that $1 million mark. What does that mean? Well, it wasn't a get-rich-quick scheme or an overnight success. I like to say that many of the millionaires I know were overnight, decades-long success stories. There was some research conducted by Thomas Corley of Rich Habits, and his study showed that 86% of wealthy people who worked full-time put in about 50 hours or more each week in their career. 67% watched less than 1 hour of television daily. and 63% spend less than 1 hour daily surfing the internet. From that Corley study, 53% of self-made millionaires were obsessed with becoming rich before they were rich. They had their mind on their money and their money on their mind. 65% had at least 3 streams of income. So they're pursuing multiple streams of income, which makes them independent. They are not depending on a single stream of income. Also, an interesting fact, and we talked about this a few weeks ago, 88% of self-made millionaires read at least 30 minutes every day, and they focused on self-education. 76% of millionaires exercise at least 4 days a week. They're focused on their health. 86% are married, including 65% in their first marriage, according to U.S. Trust's Insights on Wealth and Worth. That study also showed that 78% started out as middle class or poor, and only 22% grew up in the upper class. I think I hear some victim mentality mindsets withering away as we speak. In that U.S. Trust survey, they found that many of these millionaires grew up in disciplined environments, with 76% citing that academic achievement was emphasized, and 68% saying financial discipline was emphasized. So for those of you with children out there, start early, emphasize education, and hopefully paying for it without student loans. Emphasize financial discipline. There's still hope for you, but let's say I don't change your mind. Let's say you just keep on doing what you're doing. You feel there's no hope for you. You give up. The very least you can do is start your children on the right path. Heck, have them listen to this podcast. Have their friends listen to this podcast. Throw a party and play this podcast. No, they're not going to probably do that. They probably won't enjoy listening to this podcast if you tell them that they can have a party. But I digress. A study by the Harris Group titled Survey of Affluence and Wealth showed that respondents save an average of 23% of their income. Here's something interesting. 66% of millionaires own their own businesses. The Millionaire Next Door cites that the percentage of first-generation millionaires is 80%, which means they didn't inherit it. So those are just some different studies out there. But the biggest study, this one, I think it was 10,000 millionaires that were surveyed in this huge study by Ramsey Solutions. They found even more interesting things. According to this survey, 8 out of 10 millionaires invested in their company's 401k plan. And that little step all by itself was the key to their financial success. And we're talking about investing in 401k. This is not single stocks, right? Single stock investments are a risk, a huge risk, especially if you YOLO on one dang company. In fact, in this study, not a single millionaire in the study said that single stock investing was a big factor in their financial success. Single stocks didn't even make it in the top 3 list of factors for reaching their net worth. I know with one study there was a different number, but in this particular study from Ramsey Solutions, they found that the 10,000 millionaires that they studied, on average, worked, saved, and invested for an average of 28 years before hitting the $1 million mark. The majority of them reaching that milestone at age 49. 75% said that regular, consistent investing over a long period of time is the reason for their success. Not becoming an overnight millionaire, not winning the lottery, not getting a trust fund from mommy and daddy, or an inheritance. Regular, consistent investing over a long period of time. And even though they're millionaires, they still are very careful about their spending. 94% of the people that were studied said they live on less than they make, and nearly 75% of the millionaires have never carried a credit card balance in their lives. Here's the kicker. They also said they spend $200 or less each month on restaurants. And over 90% of millionaires in this study use coupons all or some of the time when shopping. They're frugal. They're staying out of debt. They're watching their expenses. They're saving. They're investing. Oh, and they're working hard. So in the United States, the study of millionaires, 79% did not receive any inheritance at all from their parents or any other family members. 21% did receive some inheritance, but of that, only 3% received an inheritance of 1 million or more. So remember, this study is 10,000 millionaires in the United States. 8 out of 10 of them came from families at or below middle income level. Only 2% of millionaires surveyed said that they came from an upper income family. So what's the reason again that you can't do this? I hear victim cards getting ripped up as we speak. Let's go. According to the survey, you don't need to make a huge income either in order to become a millionaire. You don't need to be an executive at a huge company to be a millionaire. Only 15% of the millionaires were in senior leadership roles, like a vice president or a CEO or a CFO or a COO. 93% of millionaires said they got their wealth because they worked hard, not because they had big salaries. The top 5 careers for millionaires: attorney, teacher, management, a CPA, an accountant, and engineer. Only 31% of these millionaires averaged $100,000 a year or more over the course of their career. And 1/3 never made 6 figures in any single working year of their entire career. They have average jobs with average pay. Teachers, firefighters, police officers. I'm going to throw in certain cosmetologists too. My wife does lashes for a living, and she is really, really good at what she does. I'm talking booked 2 months ahead of time. I think she told me the other day. Clients freak out when she wants to go on vacation. So I'll throw that in there too. The National Study of Millionaires showed that it's the degree itself that matters, not where the degree comes from. Millionaires go to college, but they don't necessarily have to go to Harvard to become a millionaire. 62% of millionaires graduated from public state schools, while only 8% went to a prestigious private school. And when they went to those schools, you know what they did? They graduated. Yeah, they didn't go just to go. They went there with a goal, and they completed the mission. So 88% of millionaires graduated from college, compared to 33% of the general population. Over half of the millionaires, 52%, earned a master's or a PhD, compared to 12% of the general population. I really do hope that this is opening your eyes. And more than that, I hope that because it's opening eyes, it also will open doors for you and for future generations. What would we call that? We would call that a legacy story, right? The cool thing about this study is they also did a general population survey in addition to their millionaires survey. So you can kind of see where the general public is thinking versus what actually happened with millionaires. And there's some things that lined up together. For instance, when asking the millionaires, how did you build wealth? Number 1 was financial discipline. Number 2 was investing consistently. Number 3 was values from their upbringing. Number 4 was a high-paying job. Number 5 was investment strategy. Number 6 was luck. Number 7, inheritance. Number 8, real estate investments. Now, in the general population, when they were questioned, number 1 was the same, financial discipline. But number 2 was inheritance. 3, investment strategy. 4, luck. 5, high-paying job. 6, values from upbringing. 7, investing consistently. And 8, real estate investments. So the first one and the last one, number 1, number 8, they were the same. But in between there is kind of where it got messed up. The general population saw inheritance and luck at the top. And now we know that is not the case. So what are the traits? What are the traits that you really want to work on in order to become a millionaire? Well, number 1, you live well below your means. You're not spending anywhere close to what you are bringing in. Number 2, they believe that financial independence is more important than displaying high social status. They don't keep up with the Joneses. They don't get a big old house when they can't afford a big old house. They don't have a $1,000 payment every month for their Beamer. I think I read also somewhere in the study that the average millionaire has a car that is usually around 3 to 4 years old, and they don't buy new. Number three, they allocate their time, energy, and money efficiently, which means in ways that will build their wealth. I guess a fourth one would be their adult children are not living off of them. They have taught them to become self-sufficient, many times because they're leading by example. Number five, they're choosing the right occupation. If you choose to be an artist for your occupation, just know it is very difficult to earn the type of income that leads to becoming a millionaire. Now you might say, well, he said earlier you don't need a big income. I'm not talking about a big income, but if you're an artist and you're making $20,000 a year, it's going to be very, very difficult if you're a 30-year-old artist living in Hollywood to put money away in a 401k or something similar to that and become a millionaire. You know what I'm saying. You don't need to be a doctor or a lawyer either. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is most millionaires chose an occupation that gave them the ability to put money away, both in savings and investment, to become a millionaire. Also, if you just pick something that you inevitably hate, it's pretty hard to succeed in a job that you hate. A lot of millionaires are small business owners. They love what they do. They worked hard and they had a decent income so they could do the things that we've been talking about. So I'd like you just to take a little bit of time. Maybe listen to this again. Put it on repeat. Maybe listen to it 3 or 4 times so it sinks in. So you can hear these facts, these stats from millionaires. So you can smash that victim card. Take it out. Take it out of your wallet. Put it in the shredder. Take control. Your decisions moving forward is what will make or break you. Not somebody else's decisions. Your decisions. It's not as elusive as you think. Well, that's all for today's episode of Legacy Story. Thank you for listening. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. Plus, don't forget to follow me on social media at Your Legacy Story, except for Twitter, which is The Legacy Story. And you can also follow me at Infinancer. Hey, listen, if you really enjoyed this episode, or maybe all my episodes, I encourage you to donate to the podcast, and you can do that via Cash App at $Infinancer. Half of all of the donations that come through are going to go to a scholarship that's going to help individuals or couples from underserved communities, or an individual or couple that is going through a significantly difficult time. That scholarship will allow them to have a financial coaching program with me where they can be served through powerful and meaningful coaching. So I really would appreciate a donation so I can put half towards that scholarship. And hey, if you just want to donate to a scholarship all by itself, you can do that as well. Just send me a note saying, hey, this donation is for a scholarship. If you are interested in changing your trajectory, you can also book a free discovery session with me at Infinancer.com. Infinancer.com. As a financial coach, we take a deep dive into what is important for you, your why. Why do you want to change your spending habits, your ways? And then we work on a plan, work on changing those habits, and I help with accountability throughout. And I promise you, if you put in the work, together we can make a huge change, and you too can hopefully be surveyed in a future millionaire survey. So once again, that's Infinancer.com, Infinancer.com. Until next time, ciao.